What's up, everybody? I'm Dave Dobson, and this is my custom guitar hanger. I've been getting requests for a lot of these lately, so I wanted to kind of show you the process and tell you what's involved. It's a laser cutout guitar with lyrics of any song laser etched into it, and then the whole thing's mounted to barn board. This is my first video, so I hope you guys enjoy it. Let's see how it's done. Right off the bat, we're going to get into the most time-consuming and probably the most tedious part of this whole process, which is laying up the lyrics into Adobe Illustrator. So what I've got here is a vector shape of the guitar. All I'll do is grab the lyrics, paste them in, and from here I'm able to tweak the sizing. I'll use some different fonts just for interest. And what we're going to try to do is fill up that whole shape as best we can, just because that's what's really going to make the outside of this piece look really good. And from here, we're going to go into the laser. So what I didn't show here is that I have already vector cut out the shape of the guitar. It's in two pieces because the laser is pretty small. So what I did was cut out the shape and then paint it all black, and then we just go through and actually burn out the paint so that you can see the lyrics on the guitar. From here, we're going to go into building the actual backdrop of the piece. So right now you can see I'm just cutting out the actual framing. What I've done already is get the barn board set up. So I got these pieces from a friend of mine and just kind of cut up one side of each piece just enough so that I can glue a couple pieces together. The whole piece turns out to be about 36 inches by about 18 and a half, I believe. So at this point, we've got the backdrop of the barn board. It's been cleaned up, glued together, and now we're finishing up getting the framing ready. So it's basically just super simple framing job, 45-degree angle cuts on the sides, and then just a quick sanding just to clean up the edges. I didn't want to get anything too super smooth just because it is really rustic, and I just wanted to kind of knock off a bit of the ends just so that the pieces fit really well together. Once that's done, we're going to go ahead and just paint everything out just a flat black. This is probably one of the more satisfying parts of the video. Really, this just is I do 2 coats and that's enough to just give everything a nice coating. I like to keep it just the matte black. I don't like too much of a shine on them. So this is going back before the glue up. Some of these pieces are a little wonky, but it's really just a matter of shaving off a couple sides, just enough to glue them up together. It's handy to use the wire brush just to clean everything up because the barn board's pretty nasty at times. So from here, I will just grab some drywall screws just because I like the nice black look to them. And yeah, we'll go ahead and just screw the border together. The good thing about these projects is they are quite rustic. So I mean, if you have some dings and scratches, it just adds to the character. So at this point, we're going to get the guitar in place, kind of roughly measure around the outside edges. It is rough, but you want to get it as close to center as you can. I typically try to get the 2 barn boards to the same widths just so the center is exactly in the middle. At this point, I'm going to just put some tape around the outside edges because we're eventually going to move that guitar off again, and we're going to need to cut in some, I use just 1/4 inch pieces of whatever I have lying around. Really, it's just enough to prop the guitar up to give it a little bit of depth and to give us something to glue it onto. Obviously the barn board is really rough, so we need to have something we can glue the pieces onto. So right now I'm just at the bandsaw and I'm going to cut up some little strips that I can put behind the guitar. So we're going to lay those up behind the guitar just to give everything a little bit of stability behind it. I wanted to make sure that some of those pieces up the neck are really small, just because you don't want anything sticking out. What this does is it gives a little bit of a 3D effect, just so you can see the shadow slightly. But as I said, it gives you something to glue to and to give it some stability. I'm just going to throw a couple nails in to make sure they're steady, and then I'm just going to glue up those little pieces. At this point, we've got some time for that glue to set, so we're going to set everything in place, make sure it's all where we want it to be. You don't want to get this far and then have it be off in any way, so you're going to take your time and just line it up, and then we can remove the tape. At this point, it's pretty much done. I'm going to set on some boards on top of it just to give it some weight and let that glue sit. That's going to be it for this one, guys. I'd love to hear what you think of these projects. I love doing stuff like this. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. Please like and subscribe. I'll talk to you again soon.